Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers. The year is 1998. People are sitting down in front of the tellies watching the 5th season of Star Trek Voyager. Star Trek Voyager Season 5. Now, this is going to be my review on Season 5, what I think about Star Trek Voyager Season 5. So, just before I get into it, I'm going to show you again what do I own of Star Trek Voyager apart from the model. I own all 7 seasons in this one big box set called Star Trek Voyager The Full Journey, which I'm in the middle of rewatching them. I'm on season 6 now. And of course, I own Star Trek Voyager season 5 in this fantastic case. Now, I love Voyager. It's my second favourite Star Trek series. I did do a video yesterday ranking all of the Star Trek seasons from, like, randomly, what I personally think of them. So, if you haven't seen that video, check that out. So, Voyager season 5. What can I tell you about this season? So, this season, we are introduced to a new alien race known as the... I'm just trying to find me... Paper. Right, I can't actually say it because I can't read my own writing. Sorry about that. I think they are called... There we are, a Mavellan, that's it, I've read it out now. So we are introduced to the Mavellans, we got the Borg back, we got a rogue Federation starship stuck in the Delta Quadrant experimenting on alien people. Just a bit like Voyager, but Voyager's not experimenting on alien cultures, they're just trying to get home, where the Equinox is doing the same, but they're going about it the very, very wrong way. So... sit there with your transporters, with your phasers, photon torpedoes on standby, and let's dive into Star Trek Voyager Season 5. Now, Star Trek Voyager Season 5 is one of the best seasons from Voyager. Not in the whole lot of Star Trek, but out of Voyager, I will do a ranking video how I rank each season of Star Trek Voyager. Now, you have got in this season 25 episodes. And only two stories that are two-parter, and let me dive into it. So the very first story we have is called Night. Now this is where Voyager becomes into a kind of an empty sort of region of space with no stars. They're just trying to get home. So to travel it through this kind of expanse, they've got to go through it really, really fast so they can try and, try and get out of the void. And then they come across a Mavellan, and who is literally dumping their Antarctic waste in this region of space that's killing off these other little aliens that are dying because of it. So Voyager ends up destroying the Mavellan freighter and destroying the wormhole, the little wormhole, so the Mavellans can't go and dump the toxic waste in that sector that was in killing these other alien species. That's kind of a good. Next episode is Drone. Now this is where orbiting a supernova sun and sending nice nanoprobes infects the hologram doctor's Merbo de Villa because he's a hologram. And when they take it in to try and fix it, it kind of spreads out and it gives a Borg. So Voyager ends up with making their own Borg drone from that 79's nanoprobes and the doctor's mobile, the hologram thing. And then, of course, during the episode with the drone literally trying to work out, it accidentally has a second controlled thing to contact the Borg. So the Borg go to assimilate Voyager to get hold of the drone. Because the drone is from the 29th century, has 29th century pieces in it. And if the Borg got that, they will become invincible. So the drone eventually kills himself to save Voyager. And 79's there crying. Episode 3 is called Extreme Risk, when Mavellans are trying to steal Voyager's probe. This is where the crew of Voyager build the Delta Flyer. I love the Delta Flyer. This is where Tom Paris shows the dynamics that he's made to make the Delta Flyer. Now, the Delta Flyer is Voyager's main shuttle, like a shuttlecraft, but it has warp drives and weapons in, a bit like a normal shuttlecraft, but it's like a lot bigger and stuff, and it's absolutely great. I do like the Delta Flyer, and I like the way they're going to get Voyager's probe. Next is In the Flesh, where Chakotay seems to find himself on Starfleet headquarters. Now, this is where we actually have the return of species 8472. They're actually trying to shapeshift into Starfleet to find out if Starfleet's like trying to arrange a war on them. Of course, Voyager finds out and tells them, no, really, our main purpose is to seek out new life and explore space, but you helped for the Borg try and kill us. We thought you were the villains, and we found out that was a lie. The Borg lied to us, so sorry about that. So anyway, Voyager goes off, leaving Species 8472 in the kind of little bit. So, yeah. Once upon a time, now this is where we have when the mother of Neelix's granddaughter is seriously injured. So this is where we have Naomi Wildman's mother, Ensign Wildman, actually ends up being injured and lost. So Neelix is there looking after his goddaughter, and really he tries not to make her worry, that he wants to make sure she's fine and everything. And then she finds out her mother is kind of lost in the Delta Flyer with Tom Paris and Tuvok, and she basically runs off having a go at Neelix, saying you lied to me, and it's kind of a good episode. I do like it. Next is Timeless, where Voyager and is literally make a quantum stream, and Harry Kim gives Voyager the wrong sort of coordinates, and Voyager ends up crashing on a planet full of ice and snow, and the impact just kills everybody because Voyager went in too fast. Instead of trying to land properly, it just went. So Chakotay and Harry Kim end up going back to Earth to become heroes, and then this is set. Then 15 years later, they go back to try and change history. I'll do that. Timeless is a good episode. Infinite Risks, regardless, is where 790 begins to exhibit multiple personalities. I do like this one. This is where Voyager becomes to a Borg debris, and inside this Borg debris is a Borg coil that basically connects all the minds that have been assimilated. So in this, you see 79 kind of get like possessed by a Ferengi, then by a Klingon and some other alien personality, even a Starfleet ensign who was assimilated by the Borg in the Battle of War 359. So that's mainly another good episode. I'd like that. Nothing Human is where Voyager receives a wonderful alien who attacks Taurus. Now this is where Voyager receives a stress call. They get hold of this alien, and this alien kind of attaches itself onto Bologna. So the Doctor has to create another hologram to try and work out another hologram Doctor, which is a Cardassian, and it kind of sets off the wrong vibes around the ship with the Bajoran Starfleet officers, and yeah, you kind of guess what's happened. Next is 30 Days, where Tom Paris is actually promoted back down to ensign, and he's put in the brig for 30 days because it's his punishment. Again, I like how he literally disobeys Starfleet's order and, well, Janeway's order as she punishes them, so it's a good episode. Next is Counterpoint, passing through space and occurred by this one, I have to say, is not a good episode for me to sit down and enjoy, because I don't really think it is great as it should have been for season 5, but it's still very much great. Next is Mate Image, where Extreme, the Doctor finds evidence of enough he performed. This is where the Doctor basically finds that he has experimented on Harry Kim to save his life with implants, but he doesn't recall the stardate, and it turns out Janeway and the Voyager crew basically wiped the Doctor's memory because he couldn't handle the fact that he chose to save Harry Kim than a random Starfleet officer. Then, of course, we have Bride of Count Cuckula. This is where Tom Paris basically does another hologram episode of Captain Proton, where Voyager is basically being attacked and being put in hold by these aliens that are literally thinking they're under attack by the hologram. And then Catherine Janeway has to dress up as Count Cuckula. I can't say the actual name, but it's actually kind of a good hologram sort of episode. Next is Gravity. I do like Gravity, where Thomas, Paris, and Tuvok are basically stranded on a planet through a little wormhole, and you got other alien species there, and you got this other alien species like trying to close the wormhole, and Voyager's like, no, please give us time to try and rescue our crew members that are stranded in this wormhole and stranded on one of your planets. They're like, nope, that's it, sorry, we gotta just close the wormhole off completely. So Voyager basically disables that ship, saves them, and then the wormhole closes. Bliss is where 7 and 9 returns from a away mission to find the crew have experienced a wormhole leading to Earth. This is where basically you kind of have this kind of alien entity or something trying to give pronouns like Voyager's going home for this image where it's actually just this alien creature trying to eat the whole of Voyager. And then 7 and 9 does actually help find it out and she saves the ship. Next is Dark Frontier. This is my favourite episode of the season where we are introduced to the Borg Queen again after Star Trek First Contact, and she's played by somebody else. Now in this one you have flashbacks to 7 and 9's parents on the USS Raven, where her family are literally trying to work out about the Borg and stuff, and it doesn't lead well because I do get assimilated, as we know, and she becomes 7 and 9. But it's good to see where 7 and 9 and Janeway is literally trying to steal a transwarp hub coil so Voyager can transwarp. But it does work because Voyager does pull it into the Delta Flyer where Tom Paris, the Doctor, Tuvok and Janeway go and rescue 7 and use the transport coil to get back to Voyager. And Voyager does use it at the end of the episode, but it burns out, so they brought them like 15 years closer to home. Do like that. Next is this disease where Harry Kim ends up breaking the rules for the first time by falling in love with an alien who basically, they kind of mate and stuff. And he kind of gets infected with this kind of light glowing and stuff. And it shouldn't really affect him because of the different island genes and stuff. But it's a good episode. I do enjoy that one. Next is Curse of Oblivion, where the ship begins to lose. Now, this one for me to sit down and say, I believe this is where... Is this the one I think it is? Or is that the next one? Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, this is the one. So, this is the episode where you see Tom and Taurus. Plana Taurus gets married, and the ship is basically the kind of clone ship from the Demon Planet that we encountered back in season 4. So Voyager does receive the distress call from them, but at the end of the episode, and when I get there, they're just literally disintegrated completely. The ship and all the Metal Crisis, alien shapeshifting, whatever you call them, the little clones of them basically have disintegrated and stuff. Next is in the flight where pulled into a chronoconic space, Voyager experiences gravimetric shares which threatens to destroy the ship, linked to unseen aliens who may be able to help. Chakotay attempts to communicate with them through a boxing match. Yeah, this one for me not as good as certain other episodes as well, but it's okay, a bit of a good episode. Next is Think Tank. Now, I do like this one where Voyager is actually being hosted by her bounty hunters, where Think Tank wants them Think Tank's literally the one that set it up, so they want 7 and 9. So they're trying to get the best of 7 and 9, and they are defeated in the end because they were tricked by Voyager and the bounty hunters. It's a good episode. Next is Judgment, where Voyager basically receives a distress call from a Magellan freighter. Again, it is another kind of a good episode, and I can't really think much about it, I have to say. I like the bit with where they go into the ship and they end up having like radiation poison in their hands and skin and face, but that's mainly it. Somebody to Watch Over Me, surprise beating on a date. Hang on. Sorry, wrong one. Where am I? Episode 21, yeah, Someone to Watch Over Me. This is where the Doctor encourages 7 and 9 to date somebody, but she ends up putting her date in sick bay, and then when the Doctor takes her to the little bit of a party, that's a hold for this ambassador with Neelix, and the Doctor basically hurts 7 and 9 when she finds out that the Doctor's only been doing it because of a bet he did with Tom Paris. Again, this one is a good episode. This is more of a Doctor, because this is where the Doctor does like fall in love with 7 and 9. He's got feelings for her, and then she's like saying, "I got nothing back for you," and he's like, "Oh, very, very, very heartbreaking for the Doctor." So I do like that one. Next is 11:59. This is where Janeway talks about one of her great aunties, Shannon O'Donnell, and It is a good episode, to be honest with you. It doesn't focus much on the Voyager crew, more of Captain Janeway's ancestor. Good one. Next is Relativity, reporting to Captain Braxton of the time ship Relativity. 709 is set back to Janeway's first day as captain of the USS Voyager to prevent Voyager from being sabotaged. This is a good episode. This is where we open up to Voyager being in space. Now, this is where we see like other famous vessels like the Galaxy class, the Atanka class, Excelsior class, other classes where Voyager, because Captain Braxton is basically trying to plant a bomb on Janeway's ship just so Voyager can blow up, and they are stopped by Janeway and 709. Next episode is Warhead. Now this one I absolutely love. I absolutely love this one. So this is where Harry Kim is in charge of the night shift on the Voyager. So while he's like there with the night crew, he ends up receiving a distress call. Now when he goes to the distress call, they find it's a warhead, and it has like a little bit of a sentient being in it, and it takes over the Doctor's hologram, threatening. And Voyager doesn't do what he says. He will detonate them. Only to find out that he received orders saying not going to happen. The war's over. To please go and blow yourself up. Try and keep peace, you know. And then he's destroyed by other 35 warheads, and he goes and destroys all of them at the end. Then 25 is Equinox Part 1. Now, I love this episode because it's great, because we are introduced to a new design of a Federation ship. We're introduced to a skeleton crew of Captain Braxton, where Janeway basically does get angry when she finds out that Captain Braxton has been experimenting on these aliens to try and find a way home. So she does try and create protocol, and him and his crew go rogue to get back to the Equinox. Still Voyager's shield emitter, and literally Voyager still being attacked. So that's mainly it about Star Trek Voyager Season 5. Now, this actual whole season is set in the year 2375. Now, also around about this point with Voyager Season 5 was happening, you have Star Trek Insurrection going on, with Captain Picard and the crew of the Enterprise E going to the Biopatch, which I will do a review on that one at some point. And of course, this also tied in with Star Trek Deep Space Nine's 7th season. So at the end of Deep Space Nine Season 7, Voyager basically carried on for 2 more years, and then Enterprise happened, and then Enterprise was the last main Star Trek show until when it got cancelled, and then it took it like 12 years for Star Trek to come back with a new TV show, so like nearly a decade and a half, really. So that's mainly happens around about this season of Voyager. We have Deep Space Nine Season 7 going on, and Star Trek Insurrection. What can I tell you about this season I love? Now, apart from having Dark Frontier being my all-time favourite episode of the season, it's actually a quite enjoyable season. I do love it. So, yeah. So this is my review on Star Trek Voyager Season 5. Is it a great season? Not as good as Season 4, but it's still okay. Am I in the middle of watching Season 6? You're probably wondering. Yes, I am. I literally just got onto Episode 2 of Season 6, so there will be a review on Season 6 coming. Also, there will be another review on Doctor Who coming out, hopefully tomorrow, because I'm going to be watching a Doctor Who later on, and I want to do a review on that story as well. So, thank you for watching this video. Please do like, subscribe, and share. Also, join me later on today when I do a video talking about what I'm looking forward to, Evil of the Daleks and Galaxy 4 of Doctor Who that's coming out. We've got Evil of the Daleks coming out next week, and then in November we've got Galaxy 4. So, stay tuned for that video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.